I'm just going to keep this super raw and show you how I went from 0 to 150K with a side hustle last year. So let's hop into it. Just to make it clear, I had no money to begin with to invest in this particular side hustle, and I came in with absolutely zero experience. So I'm going to show you just a little bit of social proof before. These are some of my statements from January and February of 2023. You can see the dates here. The total transactions over these 2 months amount to 77,490.85. This is not profit, just as a disclaimer. I'll explain the margins lie around sort of 20-25% for each sale that we get through. If you're not sure of escrow.com, I'm going to explain exactly why we use escrow and explain a little bit about the service itself just in a few minutes time. So just wait for that. You can see all the transactions, make it, add it up, whatever, there's nothing to hide. So firstly, what is this large pyramid here? It's not a pyramid scheme. These are different businesses for sale on a platform called acquire.com. And you can see ranges from anywhere of 30 million in asking price all the way down to sort of 1, 2, 3 million. And on the platform itself, goes down to, I think, 2-3K a time. Now, what I actually did was broker different businesses. So all brokering is connecting buyers and sellers together and then taking a split in between. Almost like a sales role where you're finding the client themselves and you're finding the buyer as well. So you're matching everybody together, you're keeping everybody happy. And this is exactly what it is here. There's thousands of sites for sale. It can be both online and offline businesses. So in total, there's thousands of different opportunities there right now, and nobody's really doing this in the online space. So if we go on a little bit further, this is what a normal store looks like. You have your online store on Shopify or Amazon, and within 1 month, you've been able to list it up on these different marketplaces. Now, you have many people who run multiple stores, they have other things going on, and selling that one business might not be their priority. Therefore, they're not going to be able to achieve the maximum exit later on down the line, but they have to learn these new platforms like Flipper, Empire Flippers, Acquire, Foundy, and many other ways to sell their business. I'm going to show you a few other ones outside of these, which are much easier to get buyers as well. Now you're going to be waiting 2 or 3 months back and forth. You're going to get silly offers, people who don't close, people who are wasting their time every single time because they are large amounts selling the businesses for. You need to be actively on that call and be present every single time. And for many business owners, it doesn't make sense. It's just worth selling for less. 9 out of 10 small businesses actually don't sell within the first year. Online businesses are slightly more than that, but lots of people don't have this time to wait 5 or 6 months to go ahead and sell their store. You can do it much, much quicker. You see, I was trying to find some sort of example which would make sense to everybody watching the video. If you haven't been in the brokering space before or seen buying and selling, you have it in houses, cars, yachts, almost anything. There's normally a broker involved as long as there's a high amount being sold. So your businesses for sale, your buys to buy are all these different bricks together. But if you just have a pile of bricks, you're never going to be able to build that house. So you want to be the mortar or the glue in between to go and link everybody together. So how did I actually get started in this? Now, I follow a very, very simple framework. It's a little bit more detailed than that. So I'm going to show across my step-by-step processes. My Loom just crashed, which I was recording this all on, but we'll carry on. So I set up this Facebook group here. We managed to get 1.4K members. And what I would do here is have e-commerce businesses for sale. And I can see all the flow of different stores being sold. Now, every single time somebody actually goes ahead and posts in the group, they come in on this request box on the left-hand side where I have to go ahead and actually manually accept them straight into this group. Now, I have many different people posting in the group right now looking to buy businesses for sale, and a more exclusive group just on this left hand side with only 250 members, and this is far more active, people posting back and forth. And being the admin of the group, you have that trust already with buyers and sellers. Now from there, I would take the businesses for sale and go ahead and relist on different platforms such as Flipper, which you can go ahead and join their broker program straight away. That allows you to get free listing. You can do it for many other platforms as well, such as Foundy.com on here, which is a much smaller platform. And look, I'm actually on the site myself, having sold one of my businesses directly on there. Now we listed all the businesses in the same sort of template every single time. So then we're getting the same results back every time we go ahead and actually list a business. So just pulling up what you actually need to do. You need a profit and loss statement before you list on any of these platforms. So once you've spoken back and forth with a buyer, with a seller who is looking to sell their business, with a buyer looking to go ahead and buy, but I'll explain about that process a little later on, is that we can't really sell anything unless we have businesses to have. So what you need is a profit and loss statement all put together. Not like one of these where it's almost like a math equation to go and figure out how much the business is actually making, really poorly laid out, but just a template like this. This will be one of the only links I leave in the description, all my different templates and contracts that I've used in the past. There's no promotion, there's no course, there's no funnel, there's nothing else to make anything off of this video. It's just purely to show you how I'm making money and how I made money last year by doing this exact model. So once you've got all the information together, you're just going to go ahead and start listing on these sites directly on behalf of the owners themselves. Now it's really, really simple to do. You just click through the phases, type in the business's name, get all of these details together from the question sheet. Now, one of the other things on top of the profit and loss statement that you'll need to put together for each of the stores that you're looking to sell is also an executive summary. Now, an executive summary is just the overview of the business itself. We would just put these together through ChatGPT, simply just bullet pointed out each stage of the business overview, the operations, the customer and monetization of the business itself, and then the financial overview and whether the business is looking to go on the up or the down in the next few months. It's key to be as clear and open as possible here because you don't want to attract buyers, waste time, jump into calls if nobody's actually going to go ahead and convert. Now, the best part is being a side hustle, I didn't have to spend hours every single day working on this, and I was actually able to automate most of this through VAs and assistants as well as percentage-based closers through this exact sheet here. Now, I must admit, giving this to VAs isn't the prettiest sheet in the world, but it really, really works, and it's worked multiple times over multiple months now, so there's no real reason to change it around. So the first step that we actually want to do is have a store template here that we can go ahead and use out to post directly into the Facebook groups. Now, we were doing these on different stores, different scales, and just keeping to this exact template. This is what we saw worked. It provides enough information to get people attracted and incentivized to go ahead and send us a message, but at the same time, keeping enough information that they actually have to send us a message rather than just say yes or no. Because one way that we were building up recurring customers and buyers looking for more businesses is by collecting information through question sheets. I would then get the VAs, which we found on Online Jobs. Now, Online Jobs is just a big hiring site in the Philippines. It's a little bit better for this kind of role than something like Fiverr or Upwork because it's more on the long-term base. Then we would post to all of these Facebook groups here, which are all business for sale groups, both in e-commerce and in the general niches as well. And then we would speak to the admins directly to get the post approved in a faster amount of time and wait for messages to come back. Now, once we have all of these posted out through our VAs on the personal accounts as well, and it really helps if you have a Facebook account that's already a few years old. If not, you can go ahead and buy one, or you can just use one and tone it up over time, speaking to different people in the group and being an engaged member, spreading bits of value, commenting on other people's posts, and creating that profile within one group. Now, once you start having people messaging back, we use a simple follow-up template for anybody who has messaged, hasn't messaged, and do this directly into Facebook. So you can see all of these, you can copy them, take them over. I'm going to leave the link in the description of the video for all of these details mentioned. It's just a Google Doc, so just go ahead and make a copy, download it to a PDF or however you want to use it. It's not a problem. Now, once we had a few serious buyers together, we get them to sign a thing called an NDA. An NDA is a non-disclosure agreement. In normal English terms, it means don't share the information with anybody else or you'll get into legal difficulties. Now, you can send this through something like DocuSign, very, very easy. Both of you just sign it, and it's one way to qualify a buyer a little bit further and see if they're a broker or not. The last thing that you want is to be posting one person's store that you've already gone ahead and signed a broker agreement with, and then for somebody else to try to say, I could sell for more, I could sell in a faster amount of time, and then go ahead and take that off you. So one way here with this NDA and a non-compete agreement is to make sure that no brokers can go ahead and use the stores that you're already selling. Now, the best part about using DocuSign, you can collect all the emails, names, phone numbers, and go ahead and get them into a collection sheet like this. I just set this up quickly and removed all of our customer details and names from before, but just keep track of this because at some later stage, you want to start targeting through email campaigns, through SMS, and finding lists of buyers that other businesses could potentially pay you, and then you can make additional amounts off there simply by promoting other people's businesses. Now, once everything's organized there, you want to arrange a Calendly call and try to get them booked by the 5th message. Now, after 5 messages, it just goes more back and forth and starts going into a time-wasting conversation, which you're going to have a lot of them with this type of business. But by making $151,000 a year, you can put up with a little bit of time wasting for this really small side hustle. And then finally on our SOP are these 3-day response and follow-up messages. So these are really the last resort. At the moment, we're only really seeing a 5-6% message reply back rate, if that's the best way of phrasing it, from these last messages. If somebody's really not messaging past the 3rd, the 4th, or 5th message, chances are they're not going to reply back and they're not going to be a buyer for one of your stores. So once we have this all together, we want to go to escrow.com. Now, escrow is just a way for buyers and sellers to meet together and to do it in a secure manner. Now, the last thing that you want is a buyer sending money to your seller and the seller running off, or vice versa. So this is a way to keep it all secure, and we can make sure that the goods are being delivered, nobody's running away, nobody's dissatisfied with the product, and allows a little bit more time so everybody walks away from the deal nice and happy. Now, these are some of my transactions that I showed you in the screenshot before. I'll refresh it all. I do have to have them blurred out because they're other people's stores now, they're other people's businesses, they're no longer mine. So we do need to blur out that part. Now, there's other ways to get buyers and sellers right now. People are posting on X, running Google ads, and building out full funnels on their sites. Personally, I'm not brokering businesses anymore. Instead, I'm looking to buy people's businesses. So that opens up further further opportunities. But if you're going to do something like that, and this applies to a very small amount of people, you need to be versed in the industries that you're already going to be buying into to understand how the businesses work and don't work. But I think that's about as open book as it gets. So thanks for watching. Ciao.